Hello again, this is E.K. Rochford with Reviews You Want for the Books You Don't. Today I'm reviewing Destiny by Elizabeth Hayden, which, if you were watching the last two videos, you probably know by now is the final book in the trilogy of the Symphony of Ages. Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying that I don't like final books in trilogies. I don't like final books in series. I don't like it. I don't like my series being over. I don't. Unfortunately, it has to come to an end eventually. And as far as the Symphony of Ages goes, Destiny is an excellent end. Some of the best things about this book is that we find all of our characters really coming into their own, which is what should be happening by now. You know, since it's the last book in the trilogy and everything. I mean, you would think that the final book in the trilogy would have kind of more of an 11th hour feel to it, like it would be more rushed. It's really not. Like, you read through this and Hayden manages to really keep adding to the plot, like instead of just having it sort of fizzle out and all be leading up to the to the boss fight. She keeps building up and building. It's pretty good. It's one of the things that I like most about this book is that these 800 pages aren't wasted with build-up. It's actually, you know, it's storyline. It's real, relevant storyline. As much as my bias runs towards Rhapsody because it's the first book in the trilogy and I like first books in the trilogy more than third, typically. I really feel like Destiny is the best written out of the three, possibly because practice. But also, it's just everything's ramping up without feeling like it's rushed. You know, some authors, they write a trilogy and the last book is the one that they've been envisioning all this time, so it's kind of like, you know, just rushing straight to the action, but that's not what happens in Destiny. Which is exciting because I loved the first book. I have very strong positive feelings for the second book, and if the third one had failed to live up to the first two, I would have been a little bit angry. So, if you went ahead and did like I told you to and read the first two books, then you would know by now that our main cast has quite a bit going. Got a lot on their plates. I mean, they've got some problems. They've got some big plans coming to fruition now. I mean, this is the book. This is the book where they face down with the bad guy. This is the book where all the, you know, what hits the fan. This is the book where all of the romance and the suspense is like getting to the breaking point. Like, this is what we've been waiting for, but it doesn't rush to it. That's the key. It doesn't rush to it. You know it's there. It's waiting. We'll get there. But it's giving you all this great content in the meantime. It's just so great. Anyway, so some great things that continue. All of the magic and all of the music, they're still there. They're still there, and Elizabeth Hayden keeps adding new incarnations. Not totally like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it all still makes sense, which is a huge key in writing fantasy and like fantasy, like magic, like Wizards and Dragons fantasy. The magic has to make sense. It can't be random. There has to be rules, otherwise it's just silly. Some people forget this. I'm looking at you, Christopher Paolini. Okay. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but if you didn't like the first two books, you won't like Destiny, because it's everything in the first two books and more, you know. Some people need to be told that. But if you did like the first two books, it's so great. Like, if you enjoyed the first two books, this is the best possible ending to the trilogy that Elizabeth Hayden could have made. I'm still not taking back what I said about how it's great, but not like, it's not the best. It's excellent and enjoyable. It's still not the best. Not taking that back. Alright, so if you still haven't gone out and bought the Symphony of Ages, I don't know what you're waiting for, because if you like to read, this book is good book. Again, I'll tell you this in every single one of my videos. I have a more in-depth review on my Tumblr. If you want a more in-depth review, go to my Tumblr. I'm a writer. I like attention, but I'm not necessarily good at making videos. I am good at writing, though. Go to my Tumblr. It's in the comments. You know, we find Destiny at the end of this trilogy. It's a good ending. Wraps everything up. It even sets up for more books at the end, which, as you probably guess, Elizabeth Hayden capitalizes on. There's some really good lines in these books. I need to make like a compilation of some really good lines. Yeah. Brandon's